What's up, everybody? How's everybody's Friday going? Y'all excited for the weekend? I am. I just got off of work at 2 p.m., so about an hour and 20 minutes ago. So I'm psyched. And next week is Thanksgiving week. Them lucky sons of bitches, them kids get off the whole fucking week. Do y'all? I don't ever remember. We never got the entire freaking week off of school. The whole week. It's nuts. It used to be just like 6 years ago. It used to be they got from like Wednesday to Sunday. Like what? Why how do they get the whole damn week off? It's nuts, crazy. But let's see who's in here. Ground Fog is here. Robert, good to see you, man. Always good to see you. And Broke as Knives. What up? What up? So if you didn't, I know Robert saw a bit of my recent video that I posted from Suburban and I's backpacking trip, our little camping backpacking trip. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. He's over there.
My leg was holding.
He's over there on the game system. So, well, not the game system. He's playing a game through the tablet with his controller.
His name is Call Rush.
Oh, technology, kids and their technology. But anyways, what'd you like most about the backpacking trip?
Marshmallows.
The marshmallows. Say it again.
Marshmallows.
What?
Marshmallows.
He calls them mishmallows. I love it. Mish, not mashed, but mished mallows. You silly. S'mores. Yeah, that's better. My younger brother actually used to, back when he was that age, when he was like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. No, I think after he was around 8 or 9 years old, he quit doing it. But he used to, when he was really little, when we were at the campfire and he had the marshmallow on the roasting stick, he would not put it in the fire, towards the fire, to heat it up. He would just hold it out into the smoke coming from the fire, and he would smoke his marshmallows. That's how he wanted to do it. And it was even more hilarious, because that's ridiculous in itself, but it was even more hilarious that he had trouble when he was that age with his pronunciation of different. I'm talking. His pronunciations with certain words. He had trouble with words that had the S at the front of it. So for whatever reason, instead of smoking his marshmallows, he just completely left off the S. So he would moke his marshmallows. He would moke his marshmallows. So that shit was funny. Yeah, we bring it up every once in a while. We tease him about it every once in a while. It's just funny. What, Riley?
My game is called Crash Cars.
Crash Cars? That's what you're playing right now?
Because you crash cars.
Oh, really? Cool.
To win first place.
Yeah? Have you won first place yet?
1,000 times.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
I'm good at the
So yeah, he had a good time. We did good. We got a later start than we wanted to, and that was kind of sort of my fault. And we didn't hit traffic, but it is 5.5 hours of driving to get up into the northern Georgia mountains, and so that kind of sucks that we live that far away from it and stuff. I really wish we didn't. One day we'll move up there and live up there that way, and then we'll be 20 minutes from the trail, or 40 minutes from the trail instead of damn near 6 hours. But yeah, I mean, of course we had to stop for food, we had to stop for gas.
Yes.
But then we also had to stop for Walmart, and we had to ended up going to 2 different Walmarts because the first Walmart didn't have any. But this moron forgot the trekking poles, forgot the hiking poles, and
so you leg.
yeah, so hiking poles, trekking poles. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I like never used those. I never hiked with those, and I never really bothered with a walking stick because I was young. I was very agile, very active, had no trouble, zipping up and down the trails, like a cross country runner. I, just didn't need the poles. And the tents that we had then were heavier tents that had tent poles with them, so we were carrying the tents with the tent poles. But these newer tents, like the one that I bought, which if you hadn't gotten a chance to watch my video on it, I know it's a little bit long, but if you skip the first 2 to 3 minutes of it, then I get straight to the tent and show off the tent that we used, and I like the tent. Again, there was just two things that I felt like it needed as far as improvements goes to make it even better. But I don't see a reason to. I'm keeping the tent. I like the tent. Little man and I will go camping or backpacking with it again. My wife and I, if I can get my wife to go with me on a weekend on a short backpacking trip, it's wide enough, big enough that the both of us could squeeze in there just fine without having to deal with a 4 or 5 pound tent. But the tent itself requires 2 trekking poles in order to set it up. Otherwise, you would have to have some other type of pole, makeshift pole that gives you 46 to 50 inches of height in order to set up the tent. So, yeah, I forgot the damn trekking poles. So we had to stop at a Walmart to pick up some inexpensive trekking poles and essentially just borrowed them. But they came in handy, not just obviously needed them for the tent, but they seriously come in handy, especially when you finally get to the ripe old age of shitty knees and bad ankles or whatever. I don't have bad ankles, but my knees are damn near shot to hell. So it helps. There were 2 main crossings. Yeah, 2 major crossings over a creek bed that I ended up on the way back on the day we were hiking out. I ended up like not soaking, but I stepped in and got my foot wet. One of my feet got wet. The hiking shoes that I have, the Speedcross 4s from Salomon, they are the Gore-Tex very water resistant ones. But obviously, when you dunk your whole foot in the river, my socks got a little bit wet, but they dried really quick because they were merino wool socks, so they were a wool-based sock, and it was a Gore-Tex running trail shoe. So I was fine. Like an hour and a half later, my foot was dry. But it helps having the trekking poles and using those poles when you're doing riverbed crossings and when the terrain is really steep. Little man tripped and fell a couple of times because there were plenty of points where the roots were very exposed and very cumbersome. Definitely slowed us down a little bit in some areas because just there were so many exposed roots. It's a very well traveled trail up there that a lot of people do.
Big ones trip me really.
Yeah. So it's a really well traveled trail up there. There's it's because it's only like 3.5 miles from the road to the waterfall. So you just park your car by the side of the road. They've got several areas, and they actually have a little picnic spot, pavilion, and latrine facilities right across the road from where the trail starts. So people just go there and day hike it and hike to the waterfall and back. So it was really cool to do that. It was great for me because I did that trail a number of times, a handful of times, when I was young, when I was like 12, 13 years old. Some of my first backpacking trips were on that exact trail. So that was cool to kind of, a little bit of nostalgia, reminiscent of some good times being in that exact same area. But yeah, the trail is definitely worn, the roots exposed. Um, the beauty of that at the same time is just the fact that the trail is very well marked. It was interesting. They had markers on the trees, and from where you start at the road, you're basically like the marker said mile, and then had a number under it. It's just a rectangular metal green painted with white lettering. It would say mile, and then had a number under it. So you started the trail at the side of the road at mile 1 was like, so many yards. It was 300 yards. I did the math. It was 300 yards down the trail, and you saw the marker on the tree said mile 1. And then you went another 300 yards, and it said mile 2. And that's how it was. There wasn't one for absolutely every single number, going up. But the waterfall was at marker number 21. Yeah, 21. So we went from 0 to 21. So 300 yards, that approximated to like 3.6 miles or something real close to that. Yeah. So basically 3.5 miles. But luckily we didn't have any rain while we were hiking to our camps, to where we camped. And we picked a pretty good spot. I liked where we went. Knock it off. My wife is messing with the backdrop. Cut it out.
Hi.
So, yeah, we didn't start on the trail until 3 p.m., which is not what I had planned. I planned to get onto the trail somewhere between 1:30 and 2 o'clock. With the idea that we could spend 3 hours to hike almost 3 miles, right about 3 miles, to where the campsite that I wanted to camp at, which was the one where we camped at, but it ended up being from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Yeah, we got there just before 6 o'clock, and sunset was at like 5:35 or whatever. So the sun was already going down, and it wasn't really sunny because we had driven through nothing but crummy looking rain and just a super, super cloudy day. So yeah, so the sun went down pretty quick, and I was darn near in the dark while I was setting up and going off of my little lantern light that I had set up on a tripod. And I brought the tripod not so much for the lantern, but for the idea of using it to do my little video bits. And I ended up just holding the camera as I walked around and did my video bits. So the tripod really ended up dedicating itself to the lantern, or the lantern dedicated itself to the tripod. But it was good. There were things that I brought that I ended up not using that I didn't need. So there's that. But it was all right. It's not like it was very far. And I ended up cheating. I took charcoal with me. I bought a bag of charcoal because there was rain the whole day. So I was like, these campsites, which are fairly heavily camped, so trying to harvest firewood for a little campfire so we could do the marshmallows and whatnot. Yeah. So I cheated and I brought a bag of charcoal, and I carried that damn bag of charcoal all those handful of miles. So wasn't terrible. And it was nice. It was nice not having. I took, for starting the fire, I took the rope, the sessile rope that I have, the twine rope that I have that was soaked in the oil, the fuel, with wax. So I have a video on that. If you haven't checked that video out, I really like that. I really like the rope deal. I like that better than the cotton ball with Vaseline, or the little like makeup pads that are soaked in and the stuff. I like the rope because it burns just a little bit slower. It burns for a longer time, and it's nice in order the fact that you just light one end and or light the middle, and then you still have an end of it that you can then pick up and replace and move it around. So if you feel like it's not catching underneath those handful of twigs, then you can pick it up and move it and put it underneath another, chunk of twigs that might be a little drier and might catch it a little faster. But yeah, I never had any issues making a campfire, and but I really like out of all the different methods, all the little tricks and deals of and ways of starting kindling. I like the rope. I like the rope. It works super reliably well every single time. So, but yeah, what else? Am I still, of course, carrying the EMP EDC pulse?
We bought 2 of them.
Yeah, so I did buy 2 of them. I'm keeping one pristine as long as possible, but then altogether I'll have 2 to pass on to my boys when they get old enough to have one. But yeah, I've got 2, and I am loving it. I am using it. Have been carrying it every day except for this past weekend when we went backpacking. If you saw on Instagram, I posted a video of the Spyderco stretch that I have that's got the K390 steel, sweet steel, awesome midlock backlock knife from Spyderco. Very, very similar in size to the Paramilitary 2 or Para 2, however you want to say it. But I did not carry this. I would not take an OTF backpacking or camping just because I don't want to get a bunch of dirt and stuff inside all the internals of this thing. I just would not take this backpacking or camping. So he stayed home for the weekend. I did miss him dearly. I had to tuck him away in his little drawer and say goodbye.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So, but yeah, he's been in my pocket every day otherwise since I got it. I still love it. I think it's a fantastic OTF. There will be some new things and possibly a giveaway. Not next Friday, because next Friday I will actually be for Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, I will be doing family stuff with family, and
Yes, he is.
And so I will not be available for a live. Today's live is gonna be cut really short here. I really can only give y'all about another 5 minutes or so because my older son, has an interview at 4:15 at Chick-fil-A. He's anxious to earn some money, not buy allowance, so that he can.
Well, we don't even give him allowance.
Because we don't really give him an allowance. He kind of just gets. It's more like a line of credit that's stored up in here. As far as the fact that when it comes time for he not just wants something but also kind of needs it. It's like you could get this pair of shoes for $40, but you really want that pair of shoes for $60. Well, I'm only gonna flip it because of the fact that you've been doing your chores and doing what you need to do, with grades in school and things around the house and helping out the way you're supposed to. So he wants to save up and buy a fancy phone.
iPhone 15.
He really wants the iPhone 15 as much as we are anti-Apple in this house. But he wants a really nice phone. He said if not the Apple 15, he wants one of the Samsung,
Samsung 23.
The 23
The one that I
Plus, right?
Yes, the one that I want.
Yeah, the Samsung
No,
20.
just the regular.
Is it just the regular 23?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's one of the newer Samsung S series which is the next one that my wife wants. But again, how much is that phone? Like $600 or $700?
Yeah, it's about $700.
Yeah, about $700. So yeah, that's what he wants. So I'm not fitting that bill. The wife ain't fitting that bill. He's gonna have to pay for like 90% of that phone. But then it's also, you get the phone, then you got to help out with your phone plan. And it's that time, that age that he needs to start learning and getting the experience and the responsibility of having a bill and having monthly expenses to have to pay for. And by having a job, via the way of paying for those things. So yeah, so I've got to take him for his interview here in a little bit. So that's really, this is a very, very short live. Sorry. But and then I have something else I'm doing after his interview.
Before me again.
So I'm not gonna say it because you'll see pictures. You'll see pictures on Instagram, and yeah. Olight came out with their Black Friday sales, so that's interesting. Some new models. There's one in particular that I'm interested in, and I bought two of them because one of them's going to be a gift to somebody.
What?
What?
Huh?
Yeah, not part of a give, not on my live as a giveaway, but to a particular family member.
Really?
Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I have to think about it. Depends on how good she behaves between now and Christmas.
Depends on how much head you don't get too.
Hey! You missed the trash can.
Well,
You totally missed the trash can throwing your stuff away. So yeah, but what was the name of it? It's the
Why are you giving them
Diffuse. The name of their flashlight that I'm interested in is the Diffuse, and it really, because a couple of the reviewers have already called it the Diffuser when it's really Diffuse. Yeah, it's not Diffusion, LCAP. It's just Diffuse, which is weird. Like Diffusion would have been a much better name. Diffuser would have been a much better name, but it's Diffuse. It kind of looks like Diffuser because of the way that they wrote the name of it in cursive or semi-cursive, but it's not. It's just Diffuse, USE. So yeah, it should have been Diffuser or Diffusion. I didn't think about that, LCAP. Diffusion, the Diffusion. I like Diffuser. I don't know. I would have named it something totally different if it was my choice to name it. But I ordered two of those, so there will be a video on that. I was not intrigued enough by their new twist on the Baton 4. I have the Baton 3 in the case. I got the red one, which is sweet, which is cool. I love how it charges in the case and the case holds the light and everything. But I really, honestly, I don't use it that much. I don't bring it out, huh?
What time you got to go?
Here in about 5 minutes. I gotta leave in about 4 or 5 minutes. But yeah, so I because of the size, it doesn't fill the hand. It's not fulfillingly filling the hand enough to fulfillingly filling the hand. It's not satisfying. But yeah, it's just a little small. I really like the arc felt. This guy is nice. I like this guy. This is a really good size for in the hand. It's just like a knife, just like the OTF Pulse. Yeah, this is the size that I prefer. I don't like something that's so much shorter. It's just there's not enough to really hang on to, and then it's like you accidentally drop it, and you spend the next 30 minutes looking for it, right? Yeah, so but this little diffuse light, the pattern, the shape of it, the size of it, the output, that 700 max lumens, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be cool. I think that's a nice light to have. I do feel like they failed in one part of the design of it. And that's the fact that it doesn't have a clip. They should have done a clip for it. I think they could have done the clip to where the screw cap on the back end, the clip goes there and then the screw cap goes on top. That's how I personally would have done it, which is how they're now doing the i3T2s or i3UST2 or whatever it is. So they're starting to do that, their clip that way, so you get a deeper carry in your pocket. But I think that they should have done that with the diffuse. And what's great about doing it that way, doing a clip that way with something with these smaller lights, is it's much easier to take it off. And if you don't want the clip, you just take it off and you go without a clip. If you want the clip, then you just throw it on. It's just twisting off the tail cap, throw it on, and then tighten up the tail cap again. So yeah, I think they should have done that. I think that it could have and possibly should have had a clip. But anyways, that'll be a video on that when I get them and carry one for a day or two. So yeah, that's all I've got for the channel for today. Again, busy weekend ahead, busy week. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thank you for stopping by. T-Fetch, what's up? Yeah. Y'all have a good one. Peace. I'm out of here.
Bye.
Mom.
Bye.